Understand simple things, what it is. So earlier we discussed about a hardware part. This is my hardware. Think like this. This block is my hardware block. Hardware means I have a CPU, I have a RAM, and both are in motherboard. Okay, I have a SMPS for a supply. Okay, and of course other components like I have a network card is there, I have a graphics cards are there, right? These are all my hardware components. Okay, now I want to use it. I want to, what is the purpose of CPU? You give input, you got an output. So it process your instructions and data and process your instructions and data, and it will give an output. So then you can see on the output device like a monitor. Okay. So if you want to play a game or you want to run some application, I'm using this paintbrush. I want to run my paintbrush or I want to give some commands. That is entirely part of user interface. I need an interface so then I can able to interact with my computer. I want to run applications like a paintbrush, or maybe a Chrome browser, or maybe I want to use MS Office, or I want to use Microsoft Teams or Outlook. So this different applications I'm using for my different purposes. Or I want to play games. Game is nothing but an application. Okay. I want to interact, so then I need some user interface. I want to run some applications, or I want to play some games. So I want to do some web browsing. So I need an environment, right? So I need that environment. So what is the thing which is actually doing it is your operating system. Who is providing that? Operating system. Because if you have a CPU, RAM and all, motherboard, everything is there. No operating system at all. So what you have to do? So you have to give some planned instruction. If you are from CSE, IT or ECE background, you may know this 8085, 8086 programming. So you have to learn the assembly language and you have need an interpreter. Assembly language should be converted into hexacode to binary system. Then your system will understand the binary kind of stuff, right? But directly, I want to run a paintbrush on my CPU. I cannot run without an operating system. So this operating system is in between two things. One is your hardware, another one is your user side. Okay. Operating system provide a user interface. Operating system support to run different types of applications, programs, games, kind of stuff. Okay. And it interacts with your hardware. It manage your process management. And this it manage your process, disk management, storage related management, network management. Okay. All these things done by your operating system only. So this is two layers. One is shell layer, another one is kernel layer, operating system, two parts, shell part, kernel part. Okay. Again, once again, we'll go back. What is an operating system? Operating system is a interface between user and hardware. Operating system is like an act as an user. So act like an interface. Don't say interface. Act like an interface between user and your hardware. Operating system runs your applications. Operating system, with the help of operating system, you can run operating applications. You can play games. It will provide a user interface, so then you can able to interact with your system. To interact with your system, what we need an operating system. Okay, the operating system manages your hardware components like a CPU, RAM, your hard disk, your network card or your graphics card, your audio chipset or video chipsets. Okay, it is managing all these things. It interact with them. Okay, you run a application. So application is running at a top level. It means it runs on your shell. So that will be understand. So that is should be understand by your hardware. So that operating system help to run your application. Okay. So once again, we'll see, guys. Operating system is a software which act as a interface between end user and hardware, computer hardware. Every computer must have at least one OS to run another programs. At least one OS is required. Either it is Windows operating system or Linux operating system or Mac operating system. We must have an operating system so then we can able to run applications on it. An operating system is an application like a Google Chrome or maybe it is MS Office or maybe it is a games. You want to run those things. We need a certain environment. That environment is provided by your operating system only, which we can run and perform its task. OS help you to communicate with the computer, helps you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer language. Okay? OS help you to communicate means you don't know the binary language, you don't know the how the assembly language works, or maybe hexacode language, you don't know. But with the help of operating system, you can directly interact with your system. It is not possible for user to use any computer or a mobile without having operating. Even you are having a mobile phone, so that is also having some operating system. So then we can able to communicate. Don't think you only soft means smartphones. Even featured phones also having some operating system in it. Okay. See, this is hardware and user. In between operating system, different types of operating systems are there. Okay. What is an operating system? Is a software which act as an interface between end user means user and computer hardware. Without operating system, generally we cannot use your system because what we need is we need a user interface. You want to run your applications. You want to interact with your hardware. So we need an operating system. Let's understand that point up to here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Here it is operating system architecture. Operating system is two parts. One is kernel part, another is a shell part. This kernel part of operating system is actually interacts with your hardware. Understand hardware languages. What are the program you are running? What are the instructions are you are giving? What are the data you are in the thing? Okay, that is you can able to understand. Computer cannot understand. That will be converted. That is converted into kernel understandable language by the shell. That is converted into kernel understandable language. The kernel is converted into cannot convert that one into hardware understandable language. Okay. What is this shell will do? The shell is provide a user interface, run applications. You can run games. You can do programming. All these things you can give commands. Okay. Entire thing is managed by the shell only. The kernel manages your hardware devices. Kernel to the process management, network management, memory management, disk management. Overall, you can say it is hardware management. Kernel manages entire your hardware related. Every hardware devices understand and interact and communicate with the kernel only. Of course, the kernel is nothing but a simple program or a software. It is the part of operating system which interacts with your hardware. This is a simple architecture diagram, guys. Here it is hardware, kernel, and shell. The kernel interacts with your hardware. Shell interacts with user. Okay, shell interact with the user. It provide a user interface. Shell runs the applications. Shell understand user commands. Okay, these two parts. The operating system, two parts. One is kernel, another is a shell. Kernel interacts with the hardware, shell interacts with the user. Kernel manages hardware related components like process management, disk management, network management, memory management, interact with your audio chips, video chipsets, printers, pen drives, keyboard, mouse, all these things will be able to communicate with the help of kernel. So the kernel will interact with them. So kernel will process. I'm moving my mouse. Okay. I'm going to select this kind of stuff. How can it is understand that information is going to your operating system via shell, and that is converted into the kernel will do that kind of stuff in process. Okay, once again, what is an operating system? It is interface between, it is a software which act as an interface between user and a computer hardware. Operating system. Okay, two parts, one is kernel, another is the shell. Kernel interacts with your hardware. Shell interacts with the user. Kernel manages your hardware components. Okay. Shell provide a user interface, runs user applications and commands. Can add a user commands and user data. Okay. And when it is comes to the Unix and Linux, guys, there is a different shells are there. In Unix and Linux, we have different types of shell environment. Not only Unix and Linux, there's a different operating system have different type of shell interfaces. T shell, C shell, K shell, Bourne shell. The latest one is Bourne again shell. The latest shell is Bourne again shell called a bash shell. The bash shell is what we are using in a Linux and Unix environments. As I said, shall provide a user interface. What is meant by user interface? Okay, so we can see CLI, command line interface. CLI, command line interface. GUI, graphical user interface. TUI, text based or terminal based interface. What is command line interface? So you can able to give commands. This is command based interface. In Windows, we have a command-based interface that is very less or likely used interface. In Windows, we are using GUI, graphical user interface. All are directly mouse selection, open an application directly. For example, this is a file. I want to read this file content. So directly I open, it opens in Notepad. I can able to read it like that. Okay, so that is graphical user interface. I want to use this application, double click, open, do the application kind of stuff. That is GUI, graphical user interface. What is a command line interface? So simply it's a text based interface it is. So you can give a command, so then you can able to see what is the content of it. For example, I am going to C user slash. Why it is not going? Okay. So I will try downloads. Desktop is not there. Okay. No problem. Mm. Now I was in that desktop. So I want to see the content of the file. See, all are like this only. Okay, I want to read a file content. Simple file content is this one. It's only having 2 lines. That's why I'm trying to do that one. Okay. So I want to the read the file content, right? Maybe use. Of course, in Linux is means cat command. In Windows, type command. This is a simple file. It contains this information. See, this is how I'm using a CLI. I want to run an application, or maybe I want to create a file, or maybe I want to copy the file, or maybe I want to manage a file, or maybe I want to run a program, or maybe I want to create a program. So I will do in the command line. That is a command line interface. And graphical user interface means directly open and see that is. Okay. Command line text based or terminal based interface. These are interfaces. Earlier it is there in Windows, now it is not there. That is the edit command is there, that is not available now. Okay, so we have a in a Linux we have a TUI commands are there. Text based interfaces. That's enough. Okay, guys, understand user interfaces. Hmm? Hmm? No one speaking.
Okay.
Okay, good. Here is a types of voices. The types of voices in the form of different ways are there, guys. So if I say types of voice is these two, it means another person will tell types of voices are another one. So that's why I put a diff based on few things. We divided types of voices. Okay. So types of voices in this one, it is a two types. One is SOS, another one is NOS. Simple operating system, network operating system. Simple operating system represent desktop based voices. Okay, like your MS-DOS, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 7. These are all simple operating system. Desktop purpose only. You are having Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system means it's a desktop OS. And what is the purpose of desktop OS? Purpose of desktop OS is you can run different applications. You can play different games. You do data processing, multimedia kind of stuff, web browsing. You can play audio, video kind of stuff, and also you can become a client to a specific certain set of services. It is like a client PC kind of stuff. End user devices. Desktop OS devices also we can call it as a client PCs. In some certain environment, it is a client PCs and user devices. I'm using desktop operating system, so then I can able to create different documents, applications. I can able to work. I do some programming kind of stuff in my laptop. Okay, that is a desktop OS. Depends upon the OS we can able to run. Network operating system. What is network operating system? It is a kind of server OS. Windows servers, Linux servers, Unix servers all comes under server operating system. What is meant by server operating system, guys? It's support to run server applications like a Microsoft Exchange application, that is a mail server applications. web server based applications, DHCP type of services, DNS type of services, web services, authentication services, deployment type of services. Also, we are providing from the server operating system. Server OSs can run server based applications, and server OSs contains a built-in features, or you can install certain packages inside, so then the server OS is provided certain types of services like a DHCP service, DNS services, web services. You're accessing a website from the web server, and web server should be in the a server operating system can run your web services, can able to provide your web services provider. We are accessing mails. From where you are accessing a mails? From the mail servers. Okay, how the mail server become a mail server? By installing mail server application and configure it as a mail server. Okay, so what is SOS? Simple operating system is a some desktop operating system only, like your Windows 10, Windows 11 is desktop OSs. Ubuntu desktop, that is also desktop operating system. Not really, but you can use it as a desktop purpose. Network operating system is server operating system. We have Windows Server operating system, Linux operating system, Unix operating system are example for server operating system. Okay, got the point, guys? Types of operating systems. The types of OS based on the user and task, based on the user and task base. Single user, single task operating system. Single user, multitasking operating system. Single user, sorry, multi-user, multitasking operating system. It means if take a system, for example, MS-DOS, only one user can able to log in. Only one user at a time can log into this PC. 1 second. 1 second. Hello. Good afternoon. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I have only one user can log into the system and only one task can able to do it. Like you take a DOS operating system, only one user at a time because only one user is there inside. Okay. And only one task. If you give one command, execute another command, execute. Multiple tasks you can run in a one single system. If you take a Windows based operating systems, either it is Windows Server or Windows Desktop operating system, only one user can able to log in. At a time, only one user can able to log in, either directly or remotely. By default, only one user is can able to log in. By default, only one user can able to log in. I can log in, but I can do multiple tasks. Can you see? I'm using paintbrush, not one paintbrush, multiple paintbrush I'm using. I'm using command prompts. I'm using a Google Chrome browser. I'm using Edge browser. I'm using Outlook. I'm using Notepad. So multiple tasks I can able to do it. So single user, multitask I can able to do it. This is single user, single task. This is single user, multitask operating system. Another is multi-user, multitask. People can
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
You can log the meeting. And this 26 members, whoever attended your session, you at the end you can take the attendance and send me those lists. So tomorrow I'm going to take the mock, and I need to see whether people are attending the technical training for their interest or just for granted. Because out of 40 members, I could see only 26. So you can log, because if I mention now, people will be joining and they'll mention that I've joined. So don't allow anybody. And you send me the list by end of the day. Tomorrow I'll talk to them. Whoever are attending all your sessions, they'll be considered for mock. Thank you, sir. You can continue.
Okay. Okay, send, sir. Okay. So where are we? Single user, single task means example is DOS operating system. Single user multitask is example is Windows desktop and Windows client operating system. What is multi-user multitask? Multiple users can log into same system in a different windows. Okay, so different ways. The same system physically, multiple users can able to log in. Okay, directly and remotely also. Remotely means through some SSH protocols, different people can able to log into the same system at a time. Okay, at a time. Okay, so they can also run multiple tasks. They can also run multiple tasks. Okay, so they can run multiple tasks into the system. So it is a multi-user multitasking. Is an example is Linux and Unix operating systems are a multiple user multitask. Single user multitask. Best example is Windows operating system, both Windows desktops and Windows servers. So there is small point, guys. If in case if you have a two users or three users of Windows operating system, but only one user can log in at a time. Either one or two or three, third user can log in at a time. But not all three cannot able to log in at a time. Not even two members cannot able to log into same system, same time, even directly or remotely also. But in a Linux and Unix, it is a multi-user multitasking means all users can able to access. Single user single task, multi-user multitask. Sorry, single user single task, single user multitask, multi-user multitask operating systems. Guys, understand types of operating system SYS, NYS, user and task based.
Yes, sir.
And another types of OSs are there. I said the OS based on the users types of OS kind of stuff. But in a distribution manner, so different types of OSs are there by usage, by users and organizations. Different types of OSs are there. One is a real-time operating system. Normal operating system we have, like if we have Windows operating system, Linux operating system, we have it, but we have a real-time operating system. I'm not putting any name for it because I don't have any specific name for the real-time operating system. So where is this real-time operating system and why this real-time operating system is important? Of course, we use a Windows or maybe a Linux or Mac operating system we are using, right? For ourselves or in our organization, maybe a server purpose or desktop purpose. The real-time operating systems are used mainly, you know, satellite communications, missile trajectory related, okay, telegraphic or a telephone departments. Means these operating systems are used or built for a specific type of hardware. Means there is a specific type of hardware. That hardware has a specific type of purposes, and to operate it, we were going to build this real-time operating system. Some organization take kernel, Linux kernel, and build a separate operating system out of it. Some are use some as okay. Some are use this OSS like they're specific like if you want to control the satellite stations. So what they will do, they have these machines and both so they designed a separate operating system for that hardware operating purpose, for their machine operating purpose. That is a real-time operating system. In general, operating systems are depends upon the proprietary of that operating system companies, and and it is give some additional features or lack of features. So that is also give a problem. The speed of operating and the actual purpose of operating, that will be reduces. It means it need more complex things, additional things are required. A real-time operating system directly developed for a specific hardware and specific functionality purpose. Not it is for used for general purpose. I cannot take that one. I cannot use in on my system. For my system, I want to own my operating system, so I have to build my own OS. Okay, so for a specific purpose. Okay, the real-time operating system is like that. Another type of OS is distributed operating system. What is a distributed operating system? What is distributed operating system? You know, so currently not one single server, right? So there is a multiple things we are using. One big data center with the 3, 4 servers run with the same kind of OSs and same kind of applications. Okay, so okay, to increase the performance and service, we use this distributed operating system. Of course, you can search, guys, what is a real-time operating system, what is distributed operating system, what is like this, we can able to see. Okay, it is independent systems are connected and work together as a whole purpose kind of distributed computing, distributed applications, distributed operating systems, distributed applications also there. The finally, mobile operating system. What is mobile operating system? You know that one, right? So if you have a smartphone, you may know very well about a Android and a iOS. In case maybe if you are using any old style, maybe if you remember your childhood days, Windows phone also. But there is a lot of operating systems also there. Symbian from the Nokia, Tizen from the Samsung, BlackBerry from the BlackBerry. Now the BlackBerry is not available in the market, but still it is the one of the highlighted smartphone operating system in the olden days. Because BlackBerry phone and BlackBerry OSs are developed by a BlackBerry related organization that is called RIM, Research in Motion Organization only. Okay, so that is the first email and internet operated mobile phone it is designed. Okay, so even Nokia old mobiles having this Symbian, even smarter featured phones use this Symbian OSs. Samsung in certain pieces, the in a old lab mobiles and there's old smartphones, they use a Tizen. Now everything is shifted to Android only. Even Nokia is use this Windows phone kind of stuff. Now again it is into Android only. iOS, already iPhone purpose. Different mobile operating systems also there. Either it is featured phone or maybe it is a smartphone kind of stuff. So without OS, we cannot interact, we cannot operate our hardware devices. Let's understand what is the OS, different types of OSs, OS architectures, and
Yes, sir.
differentiation. The server OS is also a OS, but server OS we cannot use as a desktop OS. Okay, and mainly the server OS's purpose is to run server-based applications. In a server OSs, there is a built-in certain features are there. If you are install that features and configure it as a specific server, we can make this server we can configure it as a DHCP server or maybe a DNS server or web server or mail server, okay, or authentication server or maybe deployment server or maybe file server, or can we make it as a storage server, okay, so or a time server. So like that we can make this server OSs help you to build as a specific server by installing some server application or with a built-in features kind of stuff. Okay, so this is up to server OS. Um, just relax 2-3 minutes. Okay, I will be connect.